Hello everybody, my name is Smarty, short for Smarty Reads, and welcome back. Today I'm going to read Chapter 4 of Changes in the Air, Mallory. It's called Saying Goodbye. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you know when I upload a new video. And also, share this video with your friends and family so they can watch me read as well. Other than that, let's begin. Saying Goodbye. 5 days ago, I made my deal with Dad that I would try to have a good attitude about Marianne and Joey moving. I've tried, but it hasn't been easy. So many things have happened in these last 5 days that have made it hard. In fact, just about everything that has happened these last 5 days have been hard because everything that happened has been about their move. I feel like it's pretty much the only thing anyone on Wish Pond Road is talking about. To be honest, it has made it very hard to have a good attitude about it. If you don't believe me, keep reading and you'll see what I mean. 5 days ago, I decided to go next door to help Marianne and Joey, who were supposed to be spending the day packing their rooms. I remember when I moved to Fern Falls how hard it was to pack, so I thought they'd both be happy I was there helping them. But it was almost like I wasn't there at all. I helped Joey and Marianne put clothes and shoes and all their other stuff in boxes. It took us all morning. We packed a box after box of shoes, clothes, books, rain gear, and Marianne's jewelry and hair thingies. When we got to her scrapbooks, I said we should take a break and look at them. We can look back at all the fun stuff we've done together on Wish Pond Road, I said. I thought it was a good idea, but Marianne didn't agree. Mallory, I don't have time to take a break, she said, I suggested she do something really crazy, like stick her head in the toilet. My feelings were hurt because it seemed like she did have the time to take a break. She wasn't moving for 5 more days, but I was trying to have a good attitude about their move, so I didn't say anything. I just kept packing. But while I was putting her scrapbooks in a box, Joey and Winnie came in her room, and Winnie said they all needed to talk about who was getting which room in the new house. While I was packing scrapbooks, they were talking about where they were going to sleep and who would have to share a bathroom. It was like they forgot I was even there. I reminded Marianne that she said she didn't have time for a break, but she said she wasn't taking one. I'm discussing important moving matters, she said. Then she, Joey, and Winnie went right on talking about their new house, and it made me feel like the only thing that didn't matter was me. 4 days ago, I went outside to get the mail, and I saw my neighbor Mrs. Black getting her mail. She said she was very glad she had ran into me. I couldn't imagine why she was, but she told me. Mallory, I heard that your friends are leaving Wish Pond Road. I nodded, and then I waited for Mrs. Black to say how sad that must be, but that's not what she said. Mallory, I'm planting a garden this summer. Since you won't have any friends around, I thought you might like to help me. At first I thought Mrs. Black was joking, but then she put her arm around me and told me she'd be my new BFF. I bet you didn't think an old lady would know a term like that, she said. Then she laughed like she just made a really funny joke. I laughed too, to be polite, but to be honest, I didn't see what was so funny. 3 days ago, I decided to see how things would be without Marianne and Joey, so I did a little test run. I watched Fashion Frame by myself. I went to the Wish Pond by myself. I skateboarded by myself. I even had a conversation by myself about what it was like doing things without my friends. Mallory, so how was your day by yourself? Mallory, kind of lonely. Mallory, I'm sorry to hear that. Mallory, thanks, that makes me feel better. But it didn't feel better for long because Max heard me talking to myself and said that the only thing that would be better than my friends leaving Wish Pond Road is that if they were taking me with them. I told Max I couldn't agree more. 2 days ago, I got a letter from Chloe Jennifer. She told me about her family's long drive to Atlanta and how her dad sang songs all the way there, and that he's a really bad singer. He told me that when she got to her grandma's house in Atlanta, she and her grandma baked chocolate chip cookies, Chloe Jennifer's favorite, and brownies, her other favorite. Then she told me that her old friend threw a surprise welcome back party for her. I decided to write her a letter back. I told her about everything that's going on in my life. I told her about helping Miss Marianne and Joey pack, and about crazy Mrs. Black said she wanted to be my new BFF, about doing things I usually do with my friends, but by myself. But when I reread the letter, I ripped it up and threw it away. I couldn't believe that the only thing I'd written about was the Winston's move. I was doing the same thing I was complaining that everyone else was doing, which was talking about the move. As much as I didn't want to be talking about that, it was like my brain wouldn't let me talk about anything else. Yesterday. Things weren't any better yesterday. Since the Winstons were moving the next day, which is now today, Mary Ann and I decided to have our last sleepover ever while we both still lived on Wish Pond Road. I wanted everything to be perfect, so I planned out all the details. Mary Ann and I were going to do all our favorite things: watch Fashion Fran, bake cookies, paint our toenails, and wear our matching cupcake pajamas. We watched Fashion Fran and baked cookies and painted our toenails, but when it was time to put on our matching pajamas, Mary Ann asked if she could borrow a t-shirt to sleep in. And then there's Mallory and Mary Ann. You were supposed to bring your cupcake pajamas, I said, but Mary Ann said she couldn't because they were packed. I gave Mary Ann a t-shirt. I wasn't going to make a big deal about it, but as we were going to sleep, it was kind of bothering me. So I said, we've always worn matching pajamas at our sleepover. I waited for Mary Ann to say something like, I know, it's too bad mine were packed. But she didn't. Maybe it's time to do new things, she said. Then she said I should turn out the light because she needed to get some sleep since she's moving tomorrow. So I turned out the light. Mary Ann fell right asleep, but I couldn't fall asleep for a long time. As I lay there in my cupcake pajamas, all I could think about were all the things that were changing in my life. Lots of things were changing in Mary Ann's life too, but it didn't seem like those things bothered her in the same way that they did me. In fact, it didn't seem like they bothered her at all. Today. That was the last day, and today, when Mary Ann and I woke up, the moving truck was already next door loading up boxes. Would anyone like a donut? Dad asked when we went into the kitchen. Mary Ann took two, but I couldn't even eat a bite of one. When Mary Ann finished, we went next door. I stayed until the movers had loaded up the last of the boxes. Time to go to the new house, Frank announced when they were done. I'll miss you so much, I said to Mary Ann as I hugged her goodbye. Don't be so dramatic, said Mary Ann. It's not like we're not going to see each other. You can come over tomorrow and help me set up my room. Sure, I said like that sounded like a good idea. But as I watched their car turn off Wish Pond Road, all I could think of was about that I didn't like the idea of helping Mary Ann set up her new room. I wish she was still in her old room, but I didn't really think I was being dramatic. I was just sad, and so was Cheeseburger. When I looked at her, I couldn't help but think that she looked just as sad as I did. That's the end of that chapter. I'll see you next time when I read Flower Power. Bye, everyone.